This is Steve, qualified NLP and CBT coach. He's passed his driving test. He doesn't need a driving test. Can people who've already passed their driving test pass a driving test? We're at Morden Driving Test Centre today to find out if Mr. Parkecore,
yes sir,
can still pass his driving test. Stay tuned, find out.
Do an introduction.
Okay, do you want to do an intro?
You do it, I'll follow you.
Okay, cool. Should we do a YouTube intro?
Yeah,
or should I
yeah.
just say, good afternoon, children.
Hello everybody.
This
Hi.
is Steve.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Steve would like to show us how to drive. Actually, we've got to turn the music down.
Oh yeah, that's true,
'Cause
yeah.
I'm not licensed to, what are you playing? One extra. I'll get straight demonetized.
You get shut down immediately. We'll shut that right
YouTube
down.
won't have it.
He's dropping tunes, end it. I've got makeup, not hair. I've got that covered.
First time I saw eyebrow thread and it's like, what are you doing with that string? How does that work? How are you getting hair off with string? I don't even know. Witchcraft.
It is witchcraft. I say that to Mandy a lot, witchcraft.
All right, Steve. So what we're going to do is... Got my mic on one side. Brilliant. So
Cool.
we're ready?
Yes sir.
Take two.
Okay, take two. Yes sir.
What is up, guys? Look who's here. It's Steve.
Good day. Hello everybody.
Parkecore.
Yes sir.
What do you do, Steve?
We run our own personal training business called Parkecore, and we look after people's physical and mental well-being, essentially.
Okay. So we're going to start seeing a lot more videos from Steve on the Instagram
Yes sir.
about how to feel on your driving test, how to get over those test nerves, and how to sort your brain so that you can feel as confident as possible on your driving test and pass first time.
Yes sir. Confidently, happily.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
No one wants to do it twice.
Nah.
And nerves are such a big thing in the driving industry, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Learners always come to me and say, do you know what? I've got my test tomorrow. I'm super nervous.
Mm.
What's one thing that you would tell them?
I would tell them to break it down into stages, like we were chatting about a little bit earlier,
Okay.
in the fact that if you imagine it, I was listening to Will Smith's new book on the way down to see Francis.
Go on to Miami.
Come on, and it was banging. It's a banging book. I'm deep into it already. But one little section he mentioned and spoke about at the early part of it was he was building a wall for his dad, and it was getting to be a bit of a big job, and he was a young kid, and also his brother as well. And it stopped being fun for them. They
So
wanted
Will
to,
Smith and his brothers are building a wall?
yeah, building
Okay,
it for
cool.
their dad. Literally, whenever they had any spare time, he'd make them do it. And it got to a stage where Will Smith and his brother were like to his dad, look, no, forget it, Dad, I'm not doing it anymore. This is stupid. I'm out. We're going to go play. And his dad goes, don't ever think that. What you need to do is just do one brick at a time and lay that brick the best you can. And then you
Okay.
move on to the next brick and you lay that the best you can. And before you know it, you built a wall.
Oh, interesting. Because the driving test feels like a big mountain, a massive,
Yeah.
impenetrable, impossible task.
Exactly. Yeah. You look. Most people, when they've got a driving test, are looking at it in its like totality, the whole thing, beginning to end. That horrible roundabout, that horrible section, those lights that always take ages to change. You don't want to get caught in the middle of this, that, and the other. So you're looking. The brain has a way of looking at naturally, and it's the way the brain's made. It will look at all the negative things to keep you on guard.
Oh,
So you
okay.
don't get too comfortable, you don't get too soft, you don't get too happy. So when you've got something scary happening, like say a driving test,
Yeah.
your brain's going to look for the negativities instead of the positive things. So you almost have to be able to train your brain to look at the positives or look at it in little bits at a time. So every time you've done something right, it's a little tick, it's a little win.
So I'm doing one road at a time.
Yeah,
Or
one
maybe
road.
1 5-minute stretch at a time.
Yep. Break it down into little bits. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's what I would say. Just take it a bit at a time. And as Francis and his team teach, it's really trying to get a hold of the anxiety and the nerves, because everyone's nervous. I did mine. I was figuring it out, when you were setting everything up. It's 31 years ago.
Nearly, really?
Yeah, that's how
so you
old I am,
passed your test
everybody.
31 years ago. It's going to
31
be
years ago.
very different now.
I know.
So what we're going to do for Steve, we're going to put him through a driving test on a real driving test route at Morden
sir.
Driving Test Centre.
Yes, sir.
So, can you still pass your driving test? That's the question.
That is a big question.
Shall we find out?
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, cool. Driving test time.
Yes, sir.
What we're going to do, we're just going to walk through and talk through a route at Morden. You can tell me about the differences between how it was when you took your driving test.
Yep.
We can talk through some techniques that people can use to help them feel more confident on their driving test. I'll tell people about the hard things on this route, because this is one of the hardest ones. Trust me, I've picked it especially for Steve.
Nice.
And yeah, we're just going to have fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah?
Looking forward
if you
to
make
it.
some stupid mistakes, I ain't got pedals, so I hope you got some insurance.
Insured up to the hilt. We're
Okay, cool. Now, we're going to talk about your car as well. Let's set off when you're ready.
Okay.
You're quite close to my car in front, so careful.
Okay.
What have you got behind? I haven't got a mirror either. Have you got enough room to get out behind?
I might do. I'll give it a try, and I'll see what the car is saying to me.
Let's roll out.
Okay.
So slick. Look at that. They can see that on the camera.
Oh, yes,
That's
they can,
so
can't they?
nice.
So we might be okay. Mike, on your side, Francis.
Yeah, good.
Oh, we might be okay.
Loads of room.
Oh,
Nailed it.
good. I think that's a pass. Right there.
Actually, you did set off without a blind spot check.
Oh, you're right, I did! Oh!
Yeah, you did.
I'm normally so good at that.
So you've nailed your first
mistake.
minor already.
Is that a minor?
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
That's cool.
So we're turning left onto the main road.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm checking. Steve can definitely drive. It's just force of habit. This is why people don't like driving with me, because I'll just do this and they'll be like, "Oh, are you watching me?"
I'm just the same though. Whenever I'm with the kids, I'm checking as well. So I would be just the same.
Okay, great. So straight down this road, no drama. When you're on your driving test, the examiner won't tell you to go straight on. So if I don't say anything, just keep driving straight ahead at any junction.
Cool.
Nice. How did you find Morden Test Centre? It's quite a nice area, isn't it?
It is. The vibe's nice there, and like a lot of them, we have a few in Leicester or Leicestershire, and they're almost hidden away. You wouldn't know they're there, really.
Yeah.
You know, they're not a big ornate thing.
It's
but
not what you're thinking, is it? When you think of driving tests and you think of this big scary building like a police station, it's not at all, is it?
It isn't. It's a little room, and if you didn't know it was there, you'd be looking for it for half an hour.
This car's so smooth. It's crazy smooth. Damn. It's lovely. Audi SQ7. We're going to have Dave in the comments straight away telling us all the specs of this car, 100%. Let's
Breaking
turn left
it down
into the car park.
Okay.
We love Dave. Dave is a ledge. So what I want you to do, Steve, pick any bay on your left or right and forward park into it for me.
Okay. Can I go over there as well?
Anywhere you want. Any bay you want.
Splendid.
Great observation. You're almost theatrically giving me those mirror checks. Like you wouldn't definitely do that if I wasn't sitting next to you.
Like I watched a couple of videos.
You want to point it out.
And I knew what I was doing.
Okay, cool. That was excellent. Really good.
Thank you.
We're going to set the sat-nav up now. So this is the start of your independent driving.
Woo.
All you need to do is follow the sat-nav until I take it down.
Okay then.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, so reverse out and exit the car park.
Okay.
We're going that way.
Oh, I can come out that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
lovely.
So, comments below. How was that maneuver for Steve? Did he make any mistakes there? We are driving through bays, which is not allowed on your driving test.
Oh, yes, very
but
true.
we'll let you off that one. You did teach your son how to drive there, didn't you?
I did. I don't know how he passed. Really,
Because we're finding mistakes left, right, and centre.
every 2 seconds, yeah.
Right. So, when you're reversing, it's imperative that you do a full 360 check. You checked your mirrors,
Yes.
and you kind of looked out of the windows, but if there was someone running behind your car, you wouldn't have seen them at that point.
So you need to physically
You need to turn your head and look what's behind you.
dig it.
Very patient, nice observation, planning ahead and anticipation. We're letting her go first because we're not in a hurry, are we?
No,
we're on a
chilling.
driving test. We're not late for anything.
Nope.
We've paid for that examiner time.
Exactly. And
Let's get the
sometimes
most
it'll
out
give you
of
that
it.
little bit of extra thinking time as well.
That's it,
Just
yeah.
when you're anxious.
Not rushing. Yeah. So when you're anxious, you try and go faster, right?
Yes.
But that's the exact opposite of what you should be doing.
Exactly, yeah. You should be kind of eking out as much time as you need and you can. As I'm doing right now.
Oh, is that start-stop there?
Yeah, it kicks in. I'm going to shut it
nice.
down. Because it has a habit of kicking in just when you don't want it to.
Just when you want to make a quick start and get away from the police.
Yeah, exactly. Just shuts you down and allows them to catch you. It's terrible.
Okay, you've done really well here. You haven't tried to go halfway and bully your way in. You're waiting for a clear gap both sides, which is what you really should be doing on your driving test. Normally you'll see lots of people go halfway and block off traffic. That's a straight foul.
Okay. So if we stay in this lane.
So you decided to stay in the right lane, you know, because you taught Tyler, shout out Tyler, how to drive, that you should be driving on the left on the driving test, right?
Yes.
But what are we doing right now? Overtaking.
Yeah.
We're legit overtaking some cars.
So we can stay in this lane.
You are fine in the right lane, yeah. Did you get that? In 400 yards, we're going to turn right.
Oh, lovely. See, that's nice. Thank you.
Position that so Steve can see it as best as possible. No excuses then for when he fails.
Thank you.
Okay, a little bit of traffic. I think there's a funeral procession up ahead. We caught them on the way up. So we'll just chill for a bit.
Yeah.
We'll probably cut this bit out of the video because, you know,
so
now we can start swearing. Like,
I've got so much stored up inside of me. Okay, that's all right.
Really smooth. Wow. Tell me about this car. Oh, we have literally followed the funeral procession down Lower Morden Lane. Damn, we should have gone the other way.
That means I'm going to get a pass because we could be here for a while.
Really? 40 minutes. We're going to be going back in a minute. I'm going to get you to do a 3-point turn.
Woo! Jeez. Okay then.
Tell me about the car.
Oh yes, the car. So it's
Audi SQ7 is probably the nicest car I've ever driven.
I do love it. It's that little. It's a car I've always wanted.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get, and every time I go in, I'm happy. It's like, you know, sometimes I will gladly drive down the road in this car when I could happily walk at times.
Yeah.
Or drive to somewhere to go for a walk.
Okay.
And it's very calming, so I really enjoy it. And it's been tuned, so it's about 520 brake horsepower.
Sick, ridiculous.
1,100 Newton meters of torque.
That's outrageous.
It doesn't get used.
We're going to take a little shortcut and turn left so we can go around this.
Okay.
And be a bit quicker.
No problem.
So how does it sound when it's at full pace, not held up?
It's lively. It can be. I have like 2 settings, and sometimes the kids want me to put it in setting 6, which is the loudest.
The loudest setting.
Which is kind of hooligan level. But normally it sits at setting 2, which is like a nice little burble.
Take the next right.
Okay. So you can tell there's something happening, but nothing too obtrusive or...
What setting have we got on at the moment?
We've got level 2. This is like the standard
sounds very
setting.
civilized.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't sound like 500 brake horsepower.
No, this is very civilized and controlled. So you're not waking up babies that are having naps or anything like that.
Because that's what it normally does, yeah?
It can do if I take it out too late, yeah.
Jeez, nice.
Here
Cross the roundabout and take
I might
the
think
second
we're going up
exit.
here and then down there.
At the end of the road, turn left.
Cool, so which exit are you taking? This one?
So carrying on over.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you signalled left there.
Which would mean
which
I'd be
would
going
make people
there.
think that you're taking that exit. So we're going to signal left now only when we're leaving. So the 2 rules in a roundabout. If you're taking the next exit, signal left. If you're turning right, signal right. Otherwise, don't signal.
There you go.
Turn left.
Did we beat them? Look right? Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
I
cool.
think we did.
Clear air. Good job, Steve.
Thank you.
Amazing. Lower Morden Lane. Okay, so like I said, this is one of the hardest routes. Practice this. If you're from somewhere that isn't Morden, if you're from, that's definitely going to get cut. If you're from somewhere that isn't Morden and you're taking your test in Morden, there's some really tricky bits around here. We're coming up to one now. There's a width restrictor. I shouldn't tell you, should I?
Oh no, carry on. It's
spoiling the
okay. I
surprise.
like it. That's
200
fine.
yards, go right on the roundabout and take the 3rd exit.
What she said. You're going to take a width restrictor on a roundabout. So you could either be dealing with a roundabout and your head's stuck in roundabout mode and then suddenly come up to a width restrictor, or you're now having to start to deal with having to use a roundabout, but then first we've got a width restrictor coming up. So you definitely want to practice stuff like this early, because if you nudge the width restrictor,
Over.
game over. You've basically crashed your car on your driving test.
Which I would not be happy about.
Okay, so let's see how Steve does
Go right
with
on the
this.
roundabout.
Can the Audi even fit through these?
That's a good point.
That's a good question.
Okay, we're going to hold a breath.
That noise is not nice.
No.
When I'm trying to be safe as possible, then that
definitely wakes
is
you up.
off-putting.
It definitely wakes you up. Okay, I need to get the right thing coming up now.
Look
we're
at all of
okay.
the gadgets on this car. Amazing.
I think I need every one of them, give or take.
Incredible. So where are we going on the roundabout?
We're going on the
Right third exit?
third exit.
Cool.
First, second.
So this is the second, keep going around.
Coming off on the third.
Okay, so also I'm going to mark you down for that roundabout, Steve. Sorry.
Yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah, because you were engrossed in that width restrictor.
Yeah.
And you weren't also dealing with the approach to the roundabout.
Yes.
So as we're approaching it, because we're turning right, we need to signal right. You
Yeah.
only signalled right a little bit late. And going around the roundabout, you were more left than right,
Yes.
slightly in the middle.
Yes,
We
yes.
could see that there were lane markings on that roundabout.
Yes.
So we do need to be on the right if we're turning right.
Cool.
Cool?
That's definitely one you'd need to like know, wouldn't you? Like if you were to go there first of all without realizing it,
Yes.
that would mess most people up.
That would mess you up.
Sure.
You definitely get that wrong and you'd be going straight back to the test centre
Wow.
for a termination.
Yeah.
And this is the thing with people nowadays, because it's so hard to find a driving test, people are booking tests in random places where they don't know. Like
Yes.
if you were from Morden, you might book a test in North London just because that's the only place where you could get a date.
Exactly.
And then,
stop.
without practice, you're just not
done.
going to pass your driving test. They say on the DVSA website, if you can drive anywhere, just book your test. No, don't
Not
do
the
that.
same. No,
Nah.
no. We tried that with
DVSA, you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's not true. When you're a competent professional driver, perhaps, but even Steve, who's had a license for 31 years,
Yeah, got messed
got that
up.
roundabout
Yeah.
wrong. If I was an examiner, he would have just failed his driving
Yeah.
test for that roundabout.
Whereas
So
if I'd known it and it had been practiced, it would have been
you would have been sweet with it because
Yeah.
you would have been walked it through with a driving instructor beforehand. Yeah, definitely.
Gone through every scenario.
And I
be
warned him
comfortable.
before we got there.
You did, and I'm thinking, it's not going to be that bad. It was. It was.
It was bad. Yeah, it's really hard.
But yeah, I can see the benefit of having instruction where you're actually going to be taking the test.
After 200 yards, cross the roundabout and take the first exit.
Okay, so what we're coming up to now is double mini roundabouts, and this is quite a tricky one, especially if you've never done it before. Do you have double mini roundabouts?
Yeah,
Where
a
you're from?
few, but they're rare. They're far and few between.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see how Steve deals with this.
Okay.
Talk me through what you're thinking.
Okay, so I'm thinking we're going over the first one
Yep.
and then
Cross the
coming off at the
roundabout
second.
and take the first
So
exit.
over there. Let's see, it's okay to cross now. So I'd be coming off.
Which one? This one or this one?
This one here.
This one, yeah, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
definitely.
right, isn't it?
This one, yeah, on the left.
Go left on the roundabout and take the first exit. Then turn left.
Okay, that was good. You dealt with the roundabouts correctly in terms of signalling and stuff, but I think you're trying to be too overcautious. You stopped at the first one when it was clearly blocked off from the right by those
Yeah.
vehicles, so that's incorrect because we can see.
just carried on.
What can the car behind us see? The same.
Yeah.
So would they be expecting you to stop there? Probably not, right?
yeah.
So we've got to be planning ahead and seeing that roundabout
After
before we get there
100 yards,
and making a
turn
decision,
left,
go or stop
then
before.
Got
go
it.
right on the roundabout
Yeah.
and take the second
So as we
exit.
get to the end of this road, I want you to be looking right and
Turn
thinking,
left,
can I
then
go or do I need to stop?
right on the roundabout
And if there's nothing
and
coming,
take the
we don't need to
second
stop.
exit.
That's it, cool, nice. I've given him another one. Damn. This one's not as hard as the one before. Told you Morden was hard.
Morden is not playing. Okay, I think we're okay. Yeah.
And where are we
Got
going
it.
next?
Go right on the roundabout and take the second exit.
Cool, and on this one, let's have a look before we get there. Is there anything coming? Do we have anyone to give way to?
No, we're clear.
No, it's cool, let's do it. Brilliant. Nicely done.
Thank you.
What we're coming up to next as well is quite interesting.
Okay.
I told you this was a good route. Did you see what I had it in my sat-nav saved as?
Yeah. The hardest.
Yeah, more than super hard. Smiley
Super
face.
hard.
So this is it. This is why it's great to take mock tests. Because me as a driving instructor, I've got a TomTom 52, just the same as the instructors have. I leave, don't tell DVSA, but I leave my TomTom in the back. When my students take driving tests, I leave my TomTom recording the routes in the back so then I can take other people on those real driving test routes. We all do it. Laura does it too. So if you want a proper driving test, before you take your real driving test, then come see us, shout us, hit us up on Instagram at drivingschooltv. We'll help you out so that you can pass first time. Because if you've done mock tests, right, you know what to expect,
yeah.
you know what's coming.
That's the main thing. You got to know what's coming.
And it's
otherwise-
realistic, it's a proper driving test route that we take you on, so yeah.
And it'll take a lot of nerves out of the situation.
That's it, exactly.
Sure.
Interesting, so level crossing, how do we deal with this? Let's look at all of the road markings and signage here. So we're coming up to a left turn. You would normally think to stop here, right? To give way to traffic from the right, but quickly assess the road markings. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking carrying on.
Yep.
Unless the lights are flashing.
Definitely.
To say to stop, because you don't want to stop on the line itself.
Don't want to stop on the line.
No. And as long as everything's clear, just carry on.
That's it. They've adjusted the priority on that junction, so people crossing the level crossing get priority, and nobody has to stop on the train tracks. So if you stopped there, and I've seen that before,
and take the second exit.
instant game over.
Yeah.
The examiner will shout, "Keep going," and you will fail your driving test.
And that would be nice.
And this is why we need to practice in the area. This is why you need a mock test with Driving School TV. Let's go.
It's for real, because I would, even now, even after the years I've been driving, doing this in a new area, I'm still lost. If I didn't have Francis here about the little warnings of what's coming up, I would have been super confused.
Yeah.
Whenever you're in your
on
area.
a proper mock test, I wouldn't normally give you warnings of what's coming up.
Yes.
We would then
Take the first exit.
talk about what's happened and then go back to the areas that you've made mistakes on. That's what we do with people on their mock test. I won't help you out at all. I'll stay silent like they do on the real test. But then we'll go back and practice anything that you've got wrong. We probably won't go back and practice that roundabout, to be honest, Steve.
So at least that way your confidence is going to be super high.
That's it, yeah.
When it all comes down to it.
All right, let's see how he deals with this one.
Okay, this looks fun.
Cross the roundabout and take the first exit.
Now we're starting to see the power of the Audi being unleashed.
It's getting opened up a little bit, I think.
Okay, cool. What's the speed limit here?
20, and I was going 30.
It's 30. It's 30.
Is it
But
30
you went way above 30 there, didn't you?
Oh.
We've got the telemetry on board, and they're going to see your speed in the bottom corner, and they're going to be like, "Wow, that's an instant fail."
I'm always telling the kids to be careful as well. Shuts me down right there.
So we need to merge onto the A3 here.
Okay. That one over to.
Great. So people do get that wrong a lot.
Yeah.
Because you know that the speed limit coming up is 50 miles an hour. But have you gone past the 50 sign yet? It's like a gate. We go past two signs, then once you've passed that gate, you can go at that speed. But until then, you're restricted to the last speed sign that you saw. So we can only go at 50 miles an hour once we're past that sign, and that's quite close to the slip road, isn't it?
Very.
So you've got to go 30 all the way down that slip road, and then at the last minute you're at 50. Watch that one for a driving test for sure. So what are you doing now? 43?
43 now.
43, 42.
Yeah.
Comfortable with that speed?
Yeah. Might pop it up a little bit.
If I was an examiner, I'd be marking you down for driving too slowly. There's no reason to be driving at that speed. If the speed limit's 50 and the road allows you to do that, then we need to be up at,
After 400 yards,
There you go.
turn left.
If everyone drove around at 10 miles an hour under the speed limit,
one's
traffic
gonna
in
go
London would be a
anywhere.
mad one, honestly. Okay, so let's look at this sat-nav here.
Okay, so we're coming off on this one.
Turn left.
Cool, dealt with that quite nicely. I like that.
Thank you.
Nice early signal, nice smooth braking. Not slowing down too much, but to an appropriate level. Okay, what speed limit do you think right now?
30.
Is that a guess, or did you see the sign?
Sort of sign.
Okay, good. So it's so easy while you're taking a junction to be just so focused, rigidly focused on that junction, that you miss everything else around you. You don't see the parked car ahead of you, you don't see the cyclist crossing the road, and you definitely don't see that speed sign.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you straighten out the wheel, you're looking out for speed signs, and then
There.
there's none there. No. You've gone past it. When you're in a 20 zone, because it's not the urban speed limit, the speed will be repeated all the way down the road. But when we're at 30 like this, it's the urban speed limit. You get no warning of it. So that's quite a good little tip there for you to work out what speed you're at if you've missed the sign. Okay, so on your driving test, your examiner is going to pull you over quite a lot, 5 or 6 times, to get to see how you pull over, how you pull away. What we're going to do is, can you pull up on the right in a safe place?
Okay.
Turn left.
Cheers, mate. Don't think you, wasn't anticipating us
No, I
parking at the
wasn't
side of the road, was it?
realising quite what we were going to be doing there.
Cool. But you dealt with that nicely. Happy with that. He flashed you. He wasn't moving. So what are you going to do?
We did our thing.
Sit in the middle of the road like a lemon? No, you got to move, right?
You got to move, and you got to carry on.
So what I want you to do next is reverse back 2 car spaces. Cool.
Okay. Yep.
Maneuver number 2. Told you I was going to give you a
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
one.
you're doing a job.
So is this what you taught Tyler? Don't move when there's cars coming past you.
Yeah.
You taught him the maneuvers too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would want to wait in. Yeah, my instinct would be to wait until everything's clear.
Okay. Did you teach in this right reverse as well? Yeah.
I didn't. No, I left
Okay.
that to the instructor.
Okay. Cool.
But is that right? Is that right to wait until
Yeah.
things in front are clear?
Yeah. If I was on a test, I'd be
Yeah.
doing that for sure.
Just so it's safe. Because I think in my head, I'm thinking it's one less set of things you're having to do with on top of
Definitely.
everything else.
How's Steve getting on with his right reverse maneuver? Comment below. What would you add to it? What would you take away from it? Couple of things I'd add to it for sure.
Uh-oh.
Great, yeah, that would do. If you keep reversing, your examiner will stop you after maybe 4 car lengths.
Oh, okay.
You can stop yourself after 2. So let's pause there for a sec, Steve.
Okay.
How did that go? Remember, the driving test is all about safety. That's it. How safe you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're good at driving. You just have to be safe at driving. Then you can get good and perfect in your own time. You're never going to be a perfect driver.
Yeah.
With driving lessons, it will cost millions. You'll be learning for like 2-3 years. Be like uni. But you can just be to a safe level and then pass your driving test and then do all the practice after.
Yeah.
To get perfect, refine everything afterwards. So what would you do to make that maneuver a little bit safer?
So I would have probably, I think ideally done a bit more observation around.
That's what I was going to
'Cause
say.
I was sort of looking I did a full check when I started and half check. Did a little check when I started and then kept in the mirrors. And I think the thing that kind of gets me is to rely on this as well.
You're just looking
to
at
a
the
degree,
cameras, yeah.
But then still looking at the back of the camera, and the rear view mirror, and also at the side, because I noticed a lady coming out and walking along at the side as well. So I think the observation would be the thing.
Definitely.
More
So when you're
observation.
looking in this mirror,
Yeah.
what it's showing you is a very thin view behind your car.
Yes.
But if you actually look over your shoulder out the back window, look how much more you can see.
Yeah, there's a lot more that could be happening coming
Right?
into
you
it.
get in this you can't see the pavements.
Yeah.
If you look behind out the back window, you can see the pavements and loads more. You get so much more information. So
Yeah.
when you're on your maneuvers, just looking in the mirrors is not acceptable.
Yeah.
Even the door mirrors, it's just showing you a thin sliver of what's happening behind your car.
Yeah.
But if you look out of the window and behind in your blind spots, you get so much more information, because what we're looking for is pedestrians, cyclists, motorbikes, anything about to come around you.
Yeah.
And like there's cars in driveways, you're not going to see them in mirrors. So it's actually about looking out of every single window. If you're learning with Steve and your name's Tyler, this video is going to be helpful for you. Cool, great.
It's gone now.
The rest is perfect. The move was nice and smooth, nice and slow,
Cool.
and it was fully under control.
Cool.
So we can set off and continue to follow the sat nav.
Thank you.
We're taking the next left.
So with that, Francis, when you were doing the manoeuvring, for instance, that reverse, you'd be sort of physically looking around whilst you're moving back at the same time.
So the way I teach it is you need to be looking out of every window. You can use that mirror,
Yeah.
the right mirror, to show you how you're positioned with the curb.
Okay.
But that's it. I wouldn't even
Okay.
look at the left mirror, because I don't need to see 300 meters down the road in that thin sliver. I'm looking out of the windows to see if people are crossing the road, to see the cars, how closely they're passing.
Right.
This one as well, I'm not looking in that mirror because it's such a narrow vision.
Yeah.
I'm looking out of the back window properly
literally
so I
doing
can
a full
see.
scan around,
Yeah, definitely.
using it on. Cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Cool. Top tips from Francis the Instructor. Follow me on
The
Instagram at Francis the Instructor.
He knows his thing. He knows his stuff.
I'm teaching a couple days. Yeah,
You've been doing it for a while. You do that. You do
couple
that.
days. Cool. All right, what we're going to do next, Steve, if you
After
could
200 yards,
stop
cross
on the left
roundabout
in between
and
these
take
two
the
cars.
first exit.
Okay.
Then, at the
Or
end
after
of
the black
road,
one, actually.
Turn right.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we're not opposite a junction.
All right.
About 1 car length away from the blue car.
Okay.
So bearing in mind what you've learned from the right reverse and from the Bay Park, forward Bay Park,
Yeah.
what I want you to do is move off from here
Okay.
and reverse park back into this position, keeping it reasonably close to the curb.
Okay.
And don't finish more than 2 car lengths away from the car in front.
Right.
So we're going to simulate a parallel park here,
Okay. Yep.
like they would
Okay.
do on the driving test.
Come by.
That's the one. Yes. Brilliant. I bet it's really easy to park this car with all the gadgets.
It's a help, but I try not to get too tied up in it.
Okay, brilliant observation. Keep it up so we know what's around us at all times. Like what's on the pavement behind your car. Out of the back window. Back window, back left window. That's the one, yes. So if someone comes off that drive or someone cycles across the road,
seeing it.
We're seeing it before.
Yes.
Yeah, you wouldn't see that in the mirror until they are right next to your car, because the mirrors give you such a narrow field of vision.
It's so true. When you're looking over that way, you can see, well, you literally see someone's house.
Yeah.
So you got a much bigger field of vision.
If someone was coming off the driveway or walking across the road, you wouldn't, because if you look over there, it takes someone about 1 second to cross your mirror's field of view, because it's so narrow. So yeah, they're pretty, not going to say useless.
Yeah.
I'll get fired by the DSA if I say mirrors are useless.
Well,
but
by the time
on the manoeuvre, we're not really bothered what is in the mirrors. We're constantly turning your head
to see
like
what's
this.
going on.
Should be a bit of a workout.
Yeah, for real. 'Cause I see what you mean now, because you'd see it from there before they're anywhere near and you can react to
That's
it.
it.
But here, by the time you see them, you're in the road.
Yeah.
Or they're in the road.
They're
or
in
whatever.
the road,
So,
and you're about to run them over.
Yeah, it's too
dramatic but true.
Yeah, for real.
Cool, let's drive on.
Okay. He's getting a workout now.
And anytime you do any reversing, same thing. Not looking in the mirrors, we're looking 2 blind spots and what's out the back window.
I'm seeing what's going on.
What's going on? What is going on? That automatic system looks kind of complicated.
It is at times.
Yeah?
Yeah, it can decide what gear it wants to go into when it wants to go in gear.
Do you prefer an automatic over a manual then?
I do for these kind of drives where it's just like leisurely drives. We've got the camper van, which is a manual.
Okay.
So that's more engaging. But yeah, I don't mind. I'm getting older now, so I'm quite happy with an auto.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind.
What does it feel weird though, going back to the manual camper van?
The weird thing is, it's like
When you're used to driving auto, or can
Yeah.
you swap between both nice and seamless?
Surprisingly, but I think because I learnt in a manual, and my daddy had a manual cars all the time, so I was so used to switching back from his to mine.
Okay.
So it seems to go very seamlessly.
Good,
really,
good, nice.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and I quite like having that discipline to be able to drive either one.
So if you're thinking about learning manual, but your friend has an auto, and you're like, oh, I want to practice in your car, but I can't because it's auto and I'm learning manual, do it.
Yeah.
Definitely do it, because you can switch between the two seamlessly. All you're doing is forgetting about the gears, but the hard bit of driving is what's out the front windscreen.
Yes.
How are we doing so far? How do you think you're getting on with the drive so far?
It's getting better, and I think with your tips, I'm doing better with the observations. That's the main thing, and trying to anticipate what's coming up ahead.
Everyone in Leicester's going to be a lot safer with Steve's FSQ7 having good observation out the back.
Yeah, exactly. And or just come off the road if you don't see me observing correctly.
Cool.
It's probably the best thing to do.
I think we've probably been recording for so long that the battery's got low.
That was a challenge, man. You weren't messing about with that one.
What's that?
The test.
The test?
That
yeah?
route.
The route.
Actually, the narrow bit with the 2 roundabouts.
Oh, yeah, disgusting.
Wow.
Morden used to be my test centre of choice.
Oh, right.
It's where I did all my driving instructor training, but it's not anymore. There's so many other better, safer, easier test centres around, like West Wickham, or even Mitcham.
Is a better. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen you
which
do
is
a few
local.
from. Yes. All right.
Morden's got too many things really that could trip you up. Roll up!
That's right.
That's not what an examiner would say. Drive on when you're ready. Don't forget the blind spot. Yeah, there we go.
Coolest.
Safe as houses.
Coolest examiner in the world if you said roll out.
Imagine actually, if your examiner on your driving test, roll out. Roll out, fam.
Oh,
Let's move, G.
Just a gangster examiner. You'd be so comfortable. Like, you want some tunes on there? Want some tunes?
Oh my God. I helped this YouTuber Tashika to pass her driving test.
Yes.
She drove a lot with her mum. She did a few lessons with me, which she vlogged on her channel.
Nice.
And I did a few mock tests, which are on Driving School TV as well. And when she took her driving test in Hither Green, she had reggae on in the car, no joke, because it helped her relax and it wasn't too lively and vibrant. And the, how do I say this politely? The whitest examiner
Yes, sir.
came out sat in the passenger seat, and I was filming, so I was standing next to the car by the passenger seat, and she said, "Oh, would you mind if I listen to this reggae on my driving test?" And he was like, "No, that's absolutely fine. That'd be wonderful." And they were both so chilled. Tashika was listening and talking about the tunes, because she picked the tunes personally, so she had a driving test playlist on of these reggae tunes, and she was able to converse with the examiner about what she was listening to and educate him, and he was vibing with her. Yeah, he was loving it. And actually that probably contributed in some part to her having no nerves on her driving test at all, because she was just chatting to this dude about reggae and driving for half an hour.
Didn't even know what she was doing.
Yeah,
it just
that's
happened.
it.
Nice.
There's a top tip in there somewhere.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that though.
Yeah.
Like if you said, "Can I play some music while I'm driving?" They can't say no.
Oh no, you can do what you want. It's your car. They'll probably turn it down if you've got it blasting, or if it's some offensive heavy metal or something.
Yeah, but generally not a problem.
No, if it's some nice chill car music, definitely they would not have a problem with that. Imagine being an examiner as well.
Yes.
You're doing 8 tests a day in silence, and you can't talk to the driver because that's distracting. Oh, I'd love someone to play some reggae.
That'd be a welcome break for them.
100%, yeah. Or even someone that they can talk to. They won't talk to you, but if you talk to them, they will talk back definitely.
Yes.
And someone that's chatty with some tunes, that's made their day.
Yeah.
100%.
80 yards, you have reached your destination.
Okay, so we've reached our destination. That doesn't mean the test is over.
Oh, no.
It means that's the end of independent driving.
Okay.
So keep following the road, and I'm going to direct you from here.
Okay.
You have reached your destination.
We've done a little bit more than 20 minutes of independent driving, because you drive quite slowly.
My wife's gonna love hearing that, because I get told that all the time by her.
Do you? She
All
says
the
you drive
time.
slowly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an old man.
So here's a good way to judge it. If the car in front is getting away from you and you aren't doing the speed limit, then you can probably speed up. Okay, we're on the way back to the test centre now, and you can tell that because we're off independent driving. I've told you that the sat nav's come away, and I'm just going to direct you to the test centre.
Okay.
So this is where you're going to start thinking, "Oh, great, I'm nearly done. I've almost passed my driving test. I'm just coming back to the test centre. Ooh, here we go. Steve, where are we going?
Should I go straight on?
Yeah, we need to go straight.
let's
Yeah,
go
we're not going to Sainsbury's. Do you want to go shopping?
Yes. Well, not yet.
Okay, so you went straight on there from a right turn lane.
Yeah.
So in that case, that would be a fail,
Oh, okay.
because you disobeyed the road marking. The road marking told you to go straight, and you didn't do that.
right.
So if you do get that situation on your driving test, quite common, you should have been driving on the left in the first place. But if that's still happened, you need to turn right. And if you ask the examiner, like you asked me, "Oh, am I going straight?" "Yeah, you're going straight. That's the route." So he's going to say, "Yeah, you're going straight."
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen?
So the only way around that would be to do the left.
You have to turn right.
Oh, sorry, do the right, come back out, and then get back on course.
Definitely, yeah.
Right.
Your examiner's
okay.
going to be annoyed because now he's definitely late back for his cup of tea and biscuits. But you just saved a driving test. You can't get marked down for going the wrong way if you do it correctly.
Right. Okay, I got it.
Just apologise.
Yeah.
Yeah. For they're humans, isn't it? Obviously he's going to be annoyed.
But it happens.
But it happens.
Yeah.
Do you know what we'll do? We'll skip this traffic and turn left. The test centre's just at the end of this road, but we're going to loop round and go behind
Behind the second navigate that bad boy. Cool.
I've been in Morden quite a long time. I know all of the roads.
You got this place broken down.
Broken it down, yeah. I learned how to be a driving instructor here, so yeah, I spent a lot of time in Morden.
So you know.
Shout out Frank Eustace, absolute legend.
Come on, Frank.
Everyone in the southeast, southwest knows Frank Eustace if they're a driving instructor.
Is he a big cat in the game? Yeah.
He's one of the OGs.
Come on.
Original. Been doing it so long, he just knows everything. When I don't know something, I'll know that Frank knows.
Respect, Frank. Respect. I like that.
All right, and we're going to take the next road on the right.
Okay.
Did you see that sign that we just passed?
Yes.
Yeah. What does it mean?
It means that we get preference.
Priority. Yeah.
Priority.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Right. Let's turn left here. Actually.
Okay.
We'll hang out there on that road.
Cool. Right, that's crazy. I could live.
Actually, stop. Can we reverse into that church?
Yeah.
Fuck. Or maybe just reverse and then drive forwards into it. Cutting this together is going to be a nightmare. You think we're going to get told off here?
No, I reckon we're okay.
Okay, cool, great. Nice backdrop, actually. It's got nice surroundings.
Okay.
And they keep the wheel spun to the right.
To the right.
Yeah. So the car looks racy.
Come on.
Okay, cool. Steve, that's the end of your driving test. How do you think you got on?
I think I could have done better. I don't think I passed.
Oh no, you didn't.
for sure. But I think I literally improved as we were doing it.
Good. That's the point.
Yeah.
And this is why mock tests are so useful
Yes.
for everybody. If you pass your driving test, it's probably not ideal for you to take a mock test because actually how I drive is how I like it. But as you can see, there's always things to improve on.
Always
Things to improve on. Actually, you opened your eyes to how unsafe it is to use the mirrors when you're reversing.
True. Yeah.
You should be looking at the blind spots. So,
That would be always my go-to things. But now doing it, I can see just how much of a better vision you get looking over there.
100%. That's going to
extra
be the
warning.
takeaway point from
Easily.
from this. Absolutely. And also, Morden's well hard, so practice it.
Humbling.
Yeah.
Humbling, Francis.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming down to see us, Steve.
Absolute pleasure.
We can't wait to get your content out on the Instagram to help people eliminate their nerves and deal with their driving tests in a calm way, because driving tests should be fun,
Yes.
but it's not
No,
when
no.
you're nervous.
No. When you're nervous, your body shuts down and it can only focus on that, and it needs to be taking in everything
That's
to do
it.
it well. So yeah, definitely can help on that. for
So
sure.
hold tight for Steve's content over on Driving School TV. Follow us on Instagram and follow him as well.
Yes, sir.
At
Yes.
Steve Parkecore PT.
Thank you. Enjoy. Thank you, Francis.
Cool. See you in the next video.
Take care,
Peace.
everybody. Bye bye.